Today on the channel, we take a look at the Father's Day RC Cap and Fly event I hosted at the Field of Dreams. Local RC pilots and pilots from across the region came to the Eaton Rugby Airport to fly their RC planes and camp at the field. One couple came all the way from near Janesfield, Minnesota to fly with us. And we even had a full-scale visitor from Thunder Bay drop in for a visit. And of course the weekend wouldn't be complete without a flyby from the Raven.
When I win the lottery, there'll be signs. I won't tell you when I won the lottery, but there'll be signs.
Yeah, there's the cabin, there's the camping area, and the pit area, and the runway. So yeah, Randy got some real good footage of the shot of the Field of Dreams there. Somebody's coming in to land. So yeah, for a piece of foam and a GoPro, you got a pretty good aerial platform there. That is my intended runway. Well, folks, it's really hard to believe that in only a few short years I've gone from a dream of building my own little airport here in the heart of northwestern Ontario, right about here. Yep, gone from a dream to an actual airport. There was lots of work involved, driving back and forth with the tractor countless times with that little plow, back and forth, turning that northwestern Ontario clay over into something that might sort of resemble an airport at some point in time. And of course there were some misadventures with the harrows, which my neighbor the farmer got some real pleasure out of watching.
Well, I don't know, this just decided to turn itself into some kind of I don't know, agricultural sculpture here.
There we go again. Yeah, well, I never claimed to be a farmer, so a lot to learn here. But fortunately, they were around to help me out.
I don't know, I guess it may be starting to look like a runway.
But here it is. Oh. And the following spring, we had a grader come in, and Marty got the runway all crowned and looking pretty good. Did unearth one big bloody piece of rock that I had to spend most of the day with a jackhammer trying to take care of. But the farmer friends came through with a real set of harrows and a little bit of know-how and taught me how to use them. And before long, it was looking good. And we were even laying some seeds to it. So, yeah, it was, at this point, it's really starting to look like a runway. Well, it wasn't long after that, I was landing my RV6 on the field. Field made, throttle back. The RV really likes the grass runways. Yep, it was turning out to be a real airport. So I thought, what the heck, why not invite some friends over? Before long, I even hosted my own fly-in barbecue. Yeah, we had airplanes from all over the area come in and visit and stopped in for a burger and enjoyed the beautiful weather that fall. So I thought, you know what, if this is a nice spot for full-scale flying, it should also be a real good spot for RC flying too. Runways are nice and smooth. So in the spring of 2025, Father's Day weekend, I hosted my first official RC flying event at the Field of Dreams.
So yeah, it's Friday morning. We're here at the Field of Dreams. We got a couple airplanes kicking around. Joe's got his camper set up. I got my camper set up. Brian comes from the lake. We've done a flight already today. Looking like a beautiful day. Just waiting for the folks to start showing up.
So on the Friday before the actual RC event started, I got a call from a buddy of mine in Thunder Bay. He said he wanted to stop in with his 172 and asked if the runway was open. So I made sure I had my handheld radio there so we could communicate once he got in the area. And I was there to advise the RC pilots to maybe just hold off for a bit until we get this full scale in here and landed. So Dave dropped in from Thunder Bay, stopped for a little visit on the Friday, and then had lunch and took off and headed back to Thunder Bay. So nice little visit for some full scale flying. So Dave was in early enough on the Friday, so it didn't really interfere with our RC flying. A lot of us guys were just getting our trailers set up and ready to fly. So it was kind of cool that Dave dropped in. Look forward to seeing him here again in the future. So just as Dave was pulling out, we had some campers and some more pilots pulling in. So timing was just about perfect. So Dave's 172 just about had full tanks of fuel, and there was 2 guys on board plus a little bit of gear. Still managed to get out of the Field of Dreams without any trouble at all.
No worries, lots of room.
So just as Dave was leaving, the Friday afternoon arrivals were coming in. So Jerome was in here with his camper, and Jerome and his wife with all of his gear. It's amazing how many airplanes he can stick in that camper. It's quite remarkable. He's a master at storing airplanes in a moving camper. And the Hepners came in. They brought Steve Storm there, their big Winnebago. So just to show you the ground there at the Field of Dreams is good and firm. We didn't sink out of sight or anything. If we would have had maybe a week of rain or something, it might have been a different story. But the weather had been good for the last few days, and so the ground was good and hard. Didn't have any trouble with the bigger units. And then Nick and Katie came all the way from near Minneapolis, Minnesota. They came a long way. They spent a lot of time driving just to get here, and I'm sure glad they came. So by Friday afternoon, most of the campers had arrived. Sharpie managed to make it to the show, and we had a beautiful evening and spent the evening up at the cabin enjoying campfire. So Saturday morning rolled around the next morning, and we couldn't have ordered a better day for weather. The weather was absolutely amazing. Very light winds, beautiful sunshine, and not terribly hot. Couldn't ask for a nicer day. Being as this was the first true official event at the Field of Dreams for RC flying, the turnout was relatively small. We had just a few pilots, but the ones that did come really seemed to like the place. They appreciated the nice smooth runway, and they all brought some really cool aircraft haulers to bring their toys in. So yeah, the first reports from the first official fun fly at the Field of Dreams seems to be fairly positive. Nick from Minnesota gave us a flying demonstration of his Fokker DR1 and even greased the landing. That was great. Mark Sharp from Kenora brought his scratch-built P61, the big Black Widow, 230cc gassers in there, and did a wonderful job flying that. Well, for such a small selection of pilots, there's certainly a large selection of aircraft. There was a pretty good representation of just about every type of airplane on the field. Another aircraft from Mark Sharp's fleet is this giant scale Hawker Typhoon, another scratch build project that he built in his little shop, and he flies wonderfully. Had no trouble at all flying in and out of the Field of Dreams field. After tearing up the sky with his big Typhoon and greasing the landing, he likes to slow things down and take a nice relaxing flight with the old SE5 biplane. Well, now that the first official RC event at the Field of Dreams is in the books, I'm looking forward to hosting a Father's Day Fun Fly every spring. So mark your calendars, check the MAAC website for the event, and hope to see you here. The field's only going to get better, folks, so there's room for camping. So there's just shy of 2,200 feet of runway. It's nice and smooth. It's oriented east-west. It's great for the big warbirds. So Kevin come by with his drone with a GoPro on it and give us some aerial footage here. Kevin was a big help. He taught me a lot of things. He's a farmer and kind of helped me out learning how to turn this dirt into a runway. So the weather was too nice to be sitting on the ground, so we jumped back in the Raven and So mark your calendars for Father's Day next year and head on out to the Field of Dreams for some flying. Lots of room in the cabin, lots of room for camping. There's always lots of firewood for the evening fires, and there's always the cabin available for folks if they wanted to stay there. So beautiful cabin. It's got 2 big bedrooms, room to sleep, probably 4 to 6 people, and it's right at the field. So join us next Father's Day out at the Field of Dreams for the Father's Day Fun Fly. So here we are on the ground at Kincardine. What's going on?